Welcome to today's Explainer. Look, we're uncovering a pretty harsh reality about success today. Why is it that hard work, sheer talent, and, just being a genuinely good person, why is that sometimes simply not enough to hit your goals? It's a tough pill to swallow for sure, but today we're going to look at exactly why your progress might be stalling out. And spoiler alert, it actually has zero to do with your work ethic or your natural abilities.
I mean, have you ever felt like you're pushing this giant boulder uphill? You're totally exhausted, you're giving it literally everything you have, only to realize someone else is quietly pulling the chain backward? We almost always default to blaming ourselves for our failures, right? We immediately think, oh, I don't work hard enough, or I'm not smart enough, or I just didn't prepare properly. But the source material for today's explainer points out this really profound, kind of uncomfortable truth. The greatest damage to our lives and our futures, it usually doesn't come from our obvious enemies. It comes from the people we trust, the ones we keep closest to us, and the ones we mistakenly consider, our people. Think about the difference between a venomous snake and a toxic person. A snake is a highly visible danger. The absolute second you see it, boom, you're instantly cautious. You instinctively back away, you secure your perimeter, you protect yourself. But a toxic person, they operate completely differently. It's a hidden danger. They come disguised as a friend, carrying a big smile and offering camaraderie. And because your brain doesn't recognize that immediate physical threat, your defenses just stay down. Through really subtle manipulation, they slowly and quietly destroy your life and halt your progress without you even noticing, at least not until the damage is already done. Honestly, if you don't learn to spot them, absolutely no amount of hard work is going to save your ambitions. So, to spot these hidden threats, we're going to cover 4 areas today. 1. Friend to face, enemy behind. 2. Interest ends, relationship ends. 3. Dream-killing people. And finally, 4. Protect your future.
Let's jump straight into Section 1, Friend to face, Enemy behind.
Their method here is highly calculated and, honestly, deeply deceptive. In person, they play the role of your absolute biggest cheerleader. They laugh with you, they praise your efforts, and they build up this really comforting layer of trust until you feel safe enough to share your deepest vulnerabilities and insecurities. You think you found a real confidant. But the moment you leave the room, that trust is immediately weaponized. They actively minimize your hard work to anyone who will listen. They magnify your minor flaws to make you look incompetent. And they dismiss your hard-earned successes as nothing more than a stroke of pure luck. They're basically using the very secrets you confided in them to subtly belittle you and erode your reputation from the inside out. It's just so incredibly easy to fall for this act, because, humans are wired to let our friends into our hearts, right? Unlike our known enemies, who we naturally keep at a very safe distance. So, here's your ultimate litmus test. If someone is super eager to come up to you and gossip about other people's secrets, they're absolutely gossiping about your secrets the second you turn your back. Always trust their character and their consistent actions. Never ever just trust their sweet words and charming presence. All right, moving to Section 2. Interest ends, relationship ends.
Now, this group is actually kind of predictable once you learn to see the pattern. It's harsh, but they don't love you. They love your utility. You are their absolute best friend in the world when they need a ride to the airport at 4 in the morning, or when they suddenly need a loan, or when they need you to fix a mess they created. As long as you're actively solving their issues, you are incredibly important to them. They'll constantly, unabashedly demand favors from you. But what do they give back in return when you're the one in a bind? Yeah, absolutely nothing, but a busy signal and a laundry list of excuses. We so often keep giving to these individuals because, let's be real, we feel guilty saying no. We mistakenly believe that our continued generosity is eventually going to be reciprocated. But try drawing a firm boundary. Just try it. The very next time they ask for a massive favor, just say no. Watch how incredibly fast they become too busy for you. Suddenly the phone calls stop. Suddenly you aren't invited to things anymore. You have to recognize that a connection built entirely on your endless giving isn't a relationship at all. It's a transaction. You simply cannot sacrifice your own well-being to do everything for everyone, because the opportunist sure isn't going to do the same for you. Which brings us to Section 3, dream-killing people. This happens to so many deeply ambitious people, and it's just heartbreaking. You decide you want to start something totally new, completely out of the box. Maybe launching a business, writing a book, starting a YouTube channel, whatever. You dream big. And what do? They immediately laugh at you. They condescendingly tell you it's impossible. They hit you with the classic, Well, if business were that easy, everyone would be doing it. Or you just need to be realistic and stick to your day job. But here's what's actually happening beneath the surface. Your courage to try something new forcefully highlights their own personal limitations. Because they never had the guts to take a risk or do something big with their own lives, they are terrified of watching you succeed where they didn't even try. And if you internalize their mockery, you stop trying, and their insecurities win.
You have to ignore this noise completely. History is not made by people who listen to quote-unquote realistic critics. I mean, imagine for a second if Steve Jobs had internalized the laughter of the industry giants who told him that putting a personal computer in every single home was an impossible, ridiculous fantasy. Imagine if he had folded when they told him to be realistic. Apple just wouldn't exist today. The whole technological revolution would have stalled. True visionaries do not let fearful people who are just masquerading as realists talk them out of their destiny.
Today's highly successful individuals heard the exact same mockery you might be hearing right now. They were told their ideas were stupid, they were relentlessly laughed at, they were told to lower their expectations. The only difference between them and the people who fade into obscurity? They didn't stop. Those who make history always operate completely outside the boundaries of average criticism. If you try to please everyone around you and constantly conform to their comfort zones, you're ultimately going to lose your own dreams.
And finally, Section 4, protect your future. Remember this fundamental truth. Anyone who tries to make your dreams smaller is actually actively trying to make your future smaller. It's a package deal. You cannot achieve greatness or even just maintain your own baseline mental peace if you're constantly surrounded by two-faced friends who weaponize your secrets, one-sided opportunists who just drain your resources, and dream killers who project their own fears right onto your ambitions. The faster you recognize these three distinct types of people and purposefully distance yourself from them, the faster you're going to find stability, mental clarity, and ultimate success. So take a really hard, honest look at your inner circle today. Are the people around you fueling your future, or are they quietly, subtly destroying it? Are you going to let their hidden limitations, their endless selfish demands, and their deep-seated fears dictate your history? Or are you going to step outside their boundaries, cut the dead weight, and build the life you actually deserve? Honestly, the choice is entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.